Does social media and viewer feedback play a role in how you approach or reflect your characters?
So far, it personally hasn't.
Yeah.
I can see a situation where social media could impact how I go in and approach a future character. For example, if I did a similar character, say a villain, and it didn't get good feedback from the audience, and I see that, I'd be then like, oh, why didn't they like it? How can I approach it differently next time in order to improve? Because
Yeah.
everyone wants to improve. All the actors, they want to improve and be better and
Yeah.
do better in their next project. And if social media is a roadway in order to see what's working and what's not working, and then in order to improve, then great, we can use
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Um, do you prefer to work on like shorter length verticals or longer length verticals?
So if I'm understanding correctly, the shorter length are the ones that are about 60 pages long, and the longer length are more
Mm.
100-page ones. Is that what?
Yeah, kind of like the length of like more like days, like how many days it takes to shoot.
Oh, right. Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, at the moment, I you see a lot of them shooting either around 6 days up
Yeah.
to say 12 days. That's the usual range for how long it takes to shoot a vertical. I am seeing a lot more projects tend towards the 6, 7 day mark, six, seven, eight
Yeah.
days. Um, because shoot fast, shoot quicker, less money, less
Yeah.
time, all that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I have a preference per se in whether it's 6, 7, 8 days or 10, 11, 12 days.
Yeah.
If I've got more days on set and more time to act, I'm gonna prefer that. So if that
Yeah.
comes with a 12-day shoot and that just gives me more shooting days, then I'm gonna prefer that because I get to do it more often. But in terms of like how it affects the project, I don't really have a preference, no.
That's fair. What's your favorite character you've played so far?
Sorry, one sec.
That's okay.
Yeah, recovering from being ill.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, so it's going around, it seems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so my favorite character that I've played so far would have to be, I don't remember his name, but it was in Return of the Heiress. Oh, Heiress Returns, Boss's Defense and Love, which aired a couple months ago and we shot back in February.
Yeah.
And that was the one where I had a really fun argument scene with Alyssa Medina, who's a lovely and very talented actor. And we had this argument scene in a bedroom, and it ended up with us hitting each other with pillows and screaming at each other.
Mm.
And eventually there's this like slow-mo jump where I jump onto the bed trying to like attack her in a way. It
Yeah.
was very like funny, comedic, and it was that was my favorite scene that I've ever shot. And also the character that I played there was very fun. Great villain to play.
Oh, that's good. It's always nicer when you're enjoying like
Mm,
what you're doing. I know a lot of actors sometimes get a job that they don't particularly enjoy doing those certain scenes. Like
right. Okay.
I was speaking to Daniel Bateman and he said there are certain villain roles where he doesn't really enjoy what he has to do to the woman or the
Right.
person or the guy or something. I mean it's still you know a job and still you know you're out there but you don't particularly love it.
Yeah, I can see that. Especially with some of those villains that they actually do get a lot more physical with the females in particular. Uh,
Yeah.
my villains that I've played so far, the most amount of physicality is like, you know, holding them close, no like, or like a little push or something. Nothing
Yeah.
too extreme. So I've been fortunate in that regard. But
Yeah.
for some of these other verticals that have themes, really dark themes, I can see how it would be uncomfortable for an actor to play that.
Yeah. Sometimes they go pretty dark. So,
They're getting dark recently, which
mm,
I think it'll just be like a phase. It'll go through. Eventually people will stop showing as much interest in it, or they'll just move on to something else.
yeah. I mean, I've had a few discussions with people about how they could find other ways to like humiliate somebody or do something like that without physically hurting them or like
Yeah.
hitting them or something like that. So,
Yeah. When it comes to scenes like that on set, often if the writing is extreme or kind of doesn't really fit with the morality of the cast and crew, then sometimes the actors will discuss with the director and find a different way to do the scene. For example, there's things like where you'll see in a script where like the villain punches. I read this script the other day, whereas the villain punches the female lead and starts bashing her head on the concrete, and I was like, really? That's not gonna happen. So on the day, if it's like something like silly, like almost stupid in that regard, uh, the cast and the director will probably change it on set to
yeah.
make it more watchable, make it more realistic, actually, which is good. It's a good creative process. But you do get some
Yeah.
of those ones where because it comes in the script and it's written in, sometimes that's what they want to see. And
Yeah.
especially with those cultural differences, when you're
Yeah.
shooting overseas, sometimes the director and or the client and the team don't really like understand the difference in culture between the West and the East. And so that's where those like little kind of little things don't line up in what
Yeah.
we see versus maybe what the client sees. Or,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Do you speak any other languages
no.
other than English? No? How do you approach working on set in other countries with the barrier in language?
I hope that they speak good English. Sorry.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just one of those things you have to deal with. In
Yeah.
Turkey, it was quite good. A lot of the crew did speak English,
Yeah.
um, which made it helpful. And it also made it good because you could talk to them when you're not on set.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was in China, there was the sets that I were on, there were limited number of people that would speak English. So you'd get like
Yeah.
the director, the AD, the person, the casting coordinator, the person that's taking care of the international cast. They would all speak English. Great. But then no one else really would speak English. So you
Yeah.
kind of just, you could only talk to those people or the other cast. Whereas when I was in Turkey, and this kind of relates to the previous question we had way early on,
Yeah.
when I was in Turkey, there was like maybe 40, 40 to 50% of the crew could speak English, which is great. You
Okay.
get to hang out
That's good.
and be friends with them as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was speaking to Rachel and she said sometimes on set, because she's in China,
Mm.
sometimes on set you get only the translator who speaks English. So it's
Yeah.
really hard to like
Mm.
navigate sometimes.
Yeah. I haven't been on a set where it's just the translator. I'm sure that'll come up at some point in the future. But yeah,
Yeah.
that would be tough, especially when you're trying to receive direction while you're acting or just get things done. Yeah. It's a tough thing that you just have to navigate.
Yeah.
And again, it's tough, but in the grand scheme of things, you're happy to be there. You're happy to be
Yeah.
overseas and doing work. So you really don't worry about it. Or
No,
you should at
absolutely.
least.
Yeah. Is there anywhere that you want to go to shoot a vertical that you haven't been to yet?
Like anywhere in the world,
Yeah. Yeah.
anywhere and everywhere.
Everywhere. Just take me everywhere.
Yeah. There's one that's really interesting is Lithuania. So I've seen a fair few casting posts for productions that are shooting in Lithuania.
Okay.
And because it's just so on the other side of the world and in an area of the world that I haven't been to in regards to work or just general holiday travel, that would be a really cool place, I think, to go and shoot. So I'd love to go to Lithuania. Yeah.
Okay. So, what advice would you offer actors hoping to break into the vertical space?
I would say that there's so much vertical work going around at the moment that it's a great opportunity to get out of the acting class and get on set experience, especially if you're a fresh actor that hasn't really done many projects. Apply for these verticals, shoot them vertically when you're auditioning. It's not a big deal, but if you want to like practice being in that vertical format, shoot it
Yeah.
vertically and you'll start to learn how to act in that space and just apply for as many as you can. There's always tons of supporting and sorry, always tons of supporting and like bit player roles that you can go and be.
Yeah.
They're always looking for cast. They often cast at the very last minute, so just be aware of that,
Mhm.
especially for the smaller roles.
Yeah.
You'll be lucky if you get half a week's notice on the bit part roles.
Wow.
And on the bigger supporting roles, you'll get maybe a week or so notice. And then for heroes, for the two leads, you'll often get a bit more than that. Um, so it's a very quick turnaround. Be prepared for that quickness when you're auditioning. And if you do happen to get on set, great. Be prepared for the quickness. And you only get one or two takes, so make sure you're ready. But don't stress, just have fun and go and learn because the more you learn, the better you'll be. And it's a repetitive cycle upwards.
Yeah, I was speaking to Alicia, and her advice was just her best advice was let it go. She's like,
Mm.
a lot of actors look back and go, like, oh my God, I could do this differently or this differently, but you only got those two takes. Sometimes
Mm.
she said sometimes you even get one, but it's very
Yep.
unlikely to just have one, but sometimes you do. So you just have to let it go and accept it for what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like that as well because I'm
Mm.
often very self-critical about my acting. And so we'll do a take and I'll be like, oh, that didn't feel good. Or it felt really bad. And but they'll move on because that's just the
Yeah.
nature of how it is. And probably looking at it from the director's point of view, what they got was fine. It's what they needed.
Yeah.
But from an actor point of view, I'll be like, it wasn't my best. It wasn't good. I just felt bad. But you don't
Yeah.
really have much of a choice there. So instead of stressing over it, just let it go. It is what
Let
it
it
is.
go.
It's done. Move on to the next thing.
Yeah, yeah. Have you had any experiences where you got to make go to the director and make creative decisions with them, like instead of on script?
Yeah, often you'll stick near the script if you're changing something. But a lot of the directors I've worked with are great in the aspect that they do allow for that creative conversation between the
Yeah.
cast and the director. And so if you want to approach them and give them an idea you have, go for it because they'll think about it. They might ask you questions about it and you can collaborate. If they really don't like it, then they'll just think, oh, I think it's more like this. Fine. And then you work on and you find the best solution, whatever it is, to what you're about to shoot.
Yeah.
And you create hopefully the best shot and product that you can. And a lot of directors you'll find because sorry, a lot of directors you'll find are great in that aspect.
Mm.
They're very willing to work with their actors.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. I'm glad about that. Okay. Is there a moment during filming that has stood out especially meaningful or surprising to you?
Meaningful or surprising?
Now I'm making you think.
When I go yeah, there's a long pause there.
That's okay.
When when I go and film, I'm often in a kind of awe when I'm watching the other main actors perform. I often feel like I'm not that good in comparison to the others. And even though everyone's there to do a different role and
Mm.
hired because they could do that role better than anyone else that the team was looking to hire, I often go and I watch the other main three or four actors and I watch them and I'm like, oh, she's really good at that, or he's really good at that. And I really like doing that when I'm on set. And it's
Yeah.
great when you're on set with other actors who do give you that feeling. You're like, damn, I feel great being in a scene with this person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that is something that Alicia said as well. She's like, when you're on set, she loves to just sit there and watch the actors, like you just said. She said
mm,
in some sets you find people on their phones, doing their own thing. But she's like, no, no, I want to watch them. I want to
mm,
see what they're doing and get ideas from them. And
yeah.
yeah,
I do a bit of both. I'm often running around trying to get videos for my little BTS reels, but
yeah,
especially when you're acting in a scene with the other actors and you're
mm.
acting opposite them, and you just get to see all that great acting in their faces, and you're like, ah, oh, damn, why can't I be like that? It's
Yeah.
great. It's yeah, it's awesome.
Is there any vertical actor that you would really love to work with?
I don't actually know that many vertical actors.
No.
I only
Any that
know the
you've
one.
watched?
No, I don't really watch them either.
No. Ah, yeah. Okay. Okay.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. I only really know the ones that I worked with.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of them are awesome. I'd love to work with a lot of them again. Great actors, great people as well. But
Yeah.
no, I don't really watch verticals or know many actors in the vertical scene that I haven't worked with. Often when I'm
Yeah.
traveling overseas to like China and Turkey, I'll be there with American actors and they'll be talking about these other actors back home in LA or New York.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yep.
I don't
I
know
don't
who
know
they
who
are.
you're talking about, but
Yeah.
okay.
So sometimes you hear goss about these actors and I'm like, cool, I'll remember that because I know that person. Hmm. No,
I
no.
mean, from where I stand, I know a lot of them because I'm doing the edits and everything from them. But then someone like will go, "Oh, this one," and I'm like, "Who's that?" Because I just haven't come across them yet. There's so
Mm,
many that you
there
just
is.
there are so many because we're like they're going out and filming in so many new places and picking up new vertical like actors and actresses and there's like some there's only one and if you haven't
Mm.
seen that one you don't know who they are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so
Yeah.
awesome that you must know like a whole community of actors. You must have so
Yeah,
many
I mean,
connections. Oh my gosh.
well, I wouldn't say I'm a very good connection, but I mean, it's
No,
just,
no.
I mean, because I've been doing the editing, it's only been since February, but I've come to know or like look for a lot of the actors and stuff to
Mm,
do the photo edits. And then you start watching their verticals, and then you've got your favorites, and then you do like them, and then you find somebody else, and you're like, "Oh, I haven't done them before, and then stuff like that. But by doing these interviews, I have to admit I've gotten to know them in a whole new light than what you
mm.
see on screen.
Ah,
Um,
how many interviews have you done so far?
oh, okay. I think nine.
Nine.
I
Nice.
think nine. I have another six booked this week.
Oh, very nice.
Yes,
That's a
yes.
busy week.
It is. It is. I've got two today, so I've got another one. at 8 o'clock tonight. Um, I've got one tomorrow, which normally I don't do on weekends, but
Hmm.
because I've got my children home. But the time difference was confusing both of us. So we kind of kept on missing our spots. So I'm like, you know what? Make it on the weekend. I know I don't have on booked then. So it threw me out of whack a little bit because I'm used to doing it a lot with people in LA. And I
Mm,
know that there's a 15-hour time difference. But
mm.
then I'm doing one with somebody which is a 12-hour time difference. And when I put him in my calendar, I was like, I just automatically put 15 hours instead of 12
Right.
because
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
my mistake. Yep. But then I went and booked another one and then realized, oh my God, that's exactly the same time because I got the time difference. So then there was a lot of messing around. So I'm trying to find a better way of booking all of these. And I've got someone from another fan page helping me out with like a calendar or something that, I can just send out and they can pick a time and book it
Mm,
like that, which is a lot easier. But
yeah.
otherwise, it's just a lot of, and then rescheduling too. Yeah, sometimes when they reschedule it, yeah, you have to
But
fit
this
them
is
in
this
somewhere.
is a great problem to have. It means you're getting more interviews, more work,
Yes,
more
yeah,
stuff for
yeah.
the
I
page.
mean, it's been good. I mean, I wanted to do interviews a long time ago, but I did not have the confidence to do it. I'm again very self-critic, so I was like, no, I can't do that. No, until one of my really good friends who I've made a friend with on when we started this, um, she kind of kicked my butt pretty much and just said, no, you can. And she's been my biggest support through this entire thing. So
And look at you go now.
yeah, I'm getting there. I'm
Just
getting there.
proof to everyone who hasn't started something because they're afraid or think that they're going to fail or anything in the mind, essentially. Proof that you can do it. And
Yes.
just to
I mean, you
starting is the
can.
hardest part.
It is. It really is. I mean, I had Alicia Love Reed for my first interview, and she made everything so much better. She sat there and spoke to me for ages before the interview, and then she stayed on afterwards to make sure that I was okay. And she just
Sweet.
made it really nice. And then John Henry Richardson, I don't know if you know him. He is an incredible man, and he's also a friend. So he also talked me through this, and he'll give me a call and help me through lighting techniques and just all these little creative things, which is really
Mm,
helpful and kind as well. So I've got support, but as you know as well as anybody, you do have those self-doubt days,
mm,
and
yeah, sure.
yeah. So, I mean, sometimes you still get these days where you're just like, oh, is it worth it? Is it giving people what they want? I guess, with actors, it'd be the same. Did I do that correctly? What should have I changed? And it's the
Mm,
same here, but
yeah.
just keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And every day you keep doing it, it's just that reinforcement and that proof that you need when you're struggling mentally about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This has definitely got me out of where I was. So, and that's a good thing.
that
So,
is a good thing. Yeah.
that is a good thing. Is there anything else that you would like to tell anybody before we wrap this up?
Uh, I make silly reels, BTS reels from my verticals that I put on my Instagram page. And I've got two verticals to make, so two silly reels to come out soon. And
I've
then
seen
apart from
them.
that, it's mostly just like travel images, but who wants to see that?
Well, from people who don't travel like me, it's a good thing. We get to see the world through your eyes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but just chugging along, doing my acting thing, starting this AI project or working on this AI project, trying to learn new things like you've been doing. It's terrifying and I expect to fail, but you learn when you fail, and that's the important thing, just to try get through it and push through it and do it as fast as
Mm.
possible so then eventually we can succeed. And that's the same
Yeah.
as like when I started acting, you know. I watched some of my tapes a while ago from 2.5 years ago when I started taping,
Mm.
and my goodness, they were absolute shockers. They were so atrocious. I was like, dear gosh. Yeah, at least you've grown. At least you've gotten better. And it'll be the same in like 2, 3 years when I watch the tapes from like
Yeah.
this time period. I'll be like, I'm so thankful that I kept growing and kept getting better. And that should really be everyone's perspective towards anything that they kind of care about and want to do in life. Keep growing, keep
Mm.
learning. It'll be tough, but when it's tough, that's where you learn and that's where you get better. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually started editing maybe about 2 years ago,
Hmm.
my photo edits for a page for my favorite TV show. And now I go back and I look at those and I'm like, oh, did I really think that was a good edit? You know? So when you look back, you can only improve, you know? The
Hmm.
more you do it, the more you improve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me, Kathy. It's been an
Anytime.
absolute privilege to come on here and talk to you.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. No, anytime. I've been talking to you for a bit with text, but it's good to finally meet you.
Yeah, you too.
And you're only like 3 hour plane ride from me. 4 hours.
Yes. Yes,
Mm.
it's a little bit of a plane ride, but
I've never been to Sydney.
I've never been to Perth.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. Maybe you need to come to Perth one day. It's going to be
Yeah,
easier
my
for you to
parents
come
went
to
there and they
Perth.
said it's beautiful.
Perth is beautiful.
Yeah.
No, I'll get there one day. I'll get
They
there one
host
day.
the WWE events often in Perth when they come, when it
Yeah.
comes to Australia. Yeah, they host the pay-per-views in Perth. So maybe I'll have to schedule a trip to Perth to watch some WWE, see the beaches, and meet up with
Yeah.
Kathy.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Definitely. All right. Well, you have a good day and go rest that voice of yours now that
It's not
still
too
not
bad.
feeling
It's
100%.
getting better. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Well, you take care of yourself and I will talk to you again very, very soon.
Thank you very much, Kathy.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely day.
You too.